My husband is blind, and we moved in together after only 3 months of dating.
Well, it was obviously a good idea because I became your husband.
Ultimately, it was a good idea.
And wait.
Not sure I recommend it.
So you think it was 3 months? So I have actual dates.
Was it less than 3 months?
My brain is just
a living calculator.
Well, it's like
filled with useless information.
It's a calendar, not a calculator. I wish I was as good with mathematical equations.
Yeah, didn't mean calculator.
Something you should know about me: I am unusually good at remembering dates, exactly when things happen.
You are.
So we met on June.
I'm
10th.
unusually bad. It's a good combo.
It's a good combo. We met on June 10th, 2016. We had that little incident at the border crossing.
Tap here if you're not sure what we're talking about.
On September 26th.
Yes.
Which instigated going to the immigration lawyer. And I want to say that we officially moved in together. I kind of like to think of my official move-in date as October 1st. So to do the math, that was actually closer to 4 months.
Ah, good. Okay. I almost said 4, but then I thought, I always get that wrong. So I'll say 3.
It's 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months.
Now, this is part whatever of our whole sort of love story. So if you want to know how we met, our summer of love.
Right here. Whole playlist.
What almost broke us up. Yeah, check out the whole playlist. Here we are, moving in.
So we moved in very early for a relationship. Forced by
into
international law.
Yeah, suddenly you had a blind guy living
in my tiny 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, hole in the wall, hobbit cave.
The Hobbit cave? No. That is too kind of a description to call it a hobbit cave because those little hobbit houses are adorable.
Yeah.
They have cute little round windows. And I think they got a wonderful breeze in the Shire. We did not live in a situation like that. We lived right beside the railroad tracks.
In fact, on the wrong side.
In fact, the place was coated with coal dust because it was a coal train that ran through.
Yes.
And the whole place rumbled. It was 350 square feet?
It was small.
And
remember, you're not the calculator, but we'll go with that.
Well, I recall the size of this place. And
actually, for you, if it's a number, you probably push the number a little too big or a little too small.
I exaggerate.
So it's probably a little more than 350, but let's go with small.
Okay. So it was small, and we were suddenly living together. It was not a place for two people to live necessarily. There was no window in the bedroom. That is what blew my mind. It was a windowless bedroom. That's why
it was a hobbit hole. It went back into.
That's not legal.
Well,
it's questionable. But I think
the only windows were the front door that had glass on it, and right around the door there was glass. Other than that, it was a dark.
And I just want to be clear.
Cave.
There was only one window actually opened, and it opened about this much. It had
one of those little cranks.
Yeah, and it opened.
I like how we both have to demonstrate at the same time what a crank is for people that don't know what a crank is.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I like to gesticulate a lot. Even though I can't see, I'm constantly creating.
I love this shirt,
visual.
but you need a band that goes with this shirt,
Matthew. Okay. Like and comment if you think that when you have white piping, you should match and color coordinate with your watch.
Or even a rose band.
Please, somebody just send me the rose band, and then I don't have to worry about my husband's opinions, critiques.
No, I love this shirt. I just want something that goes that complements it.
So
where are we?
I'm gonna make a segue.
We're moved in
because. In order to move in, you actually had to cross the border. And I only had a duffel bag of my belongings. So, of course, I had all my overnight things. I had 2 outfits.
Yeah.
Speaking of clothes, I had 2 outfits to wear. You were advised by our immigration attorney.
Not to cross with someone else's belongings back into the United States.
So I had furniture and a TV and all kinds of boxes of memorabilia, all of my keepsakes that one accumulates in a lifetime. And so you had to go up across the border. And what the heck did you do?
I moved it into storage for you.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, you had family members or relatives who were willing to store it for you.
Right.
And I was surprised at how much junk I was moving.
Really?
Yeah. Your relative,
your
aunt and I actually decided that some of the things that I brought in
What?
You didn't need to keep.
Wait, no. I'm learning right now that you threw out some of my things.
It was your aunt's fault. It wasn't my fault.
Were they like childhood things?
Like photo albums.
Matthew! No!
No, just like, I don't know.
You would never.
I think I remember this decrepit bag, tote bag, or backpack or something.
I've been wondering what happened to that backpack.
Yeah, you have.
And I had some really cute tote bags at one time. And they have been missing.
Maybe pairs of shoes that look like you hadn't worn them in like 20 years.
I feel like I could part with those shoes. In fact, everything is fine as long as like all of my little keepsakes. Because I am a little bit of a pack rat, a little bit of a hoarder when it comes to sentimental items. So I actually have like a new box since we met filled with things like napkins and playbills and movie tickets and all this little memorabilia.
Okay, but I want us each to answer.
Okay.
What was it like moving in together so suddenly, thrust into it?
Thrust.
Who's going first?
Go first.
Okay. It was both exciting and unexpected. So I liked the spontaneity, the excitement of like, we're moving in. Let's make the best of it. Yeah, it was fun. It was like a new adventure. It was like challenge. Your boyfriend cannot leave the country. He's moved in with you.
For somebody who hates reality television and never watched it, I'm surprised that you kind of approached it.
It was almost like it was like a game.
It was
I
like a
wasn't
game
thinking
show.
of reality TV at all. I was just thinking of like a scavenger hunt.
Okay, actually, this
game.
is a really great segue for me because what was it like? I told you I had just bought this beautiful big 60-inch television and it could not come back to across the border. And guess what? Matthew didn't own a TV. In fact, Matthew has never owned a TV. So suddenly I am thrust into a living situation in which not only is there no TV, there's literally nowhere to put a TV because I think we've mentioned how small this space was. And so that was a little jarring for me because I was like, oh my God, like for my entire life, for as long as I could remember, and I'm sure we have viewers who can relate, don't judge me. 8 p.m. comes around, sometimes 7 p.m. comes around, you find your spot on the couch and you're kind of like in for the rest of the evening. You've got Jeopardy, you've got Wheel of Fortune, you have Friends and How I Met Your Mother and Sex and the City and all the shows, right? Until like 10 o'clock and it's bedtime, you've had your snacks.
That's a lot of inactivity.
No, because like when I was a kid, but commercial breaks, remember commercial breaks?
What would you do?
We would get down on the ground, we'd do stretches, we'd do a little Pilates, we'd do push-ups.
I don't think that's normal.
Yes, because my cousins and I were like, we need to like, this is a marathon, so you got to stay limber. We had our shows, we had our lineups.
So the only thing you're saying,
is I had to give up a lot of television
was TV.
watching.
That was the only thing you have to say about moving in suddenly with your new boyfriend.
Okay, it was just a side note. I felt like in the evenings we did this whole other thing. We went for walks together, which was really, really a beautiful thing.
I felt like for me, it required adaptability, flexibility, and figuring things out as we went. We were still in the honeymoon phase, so it was really beautiful. I mean, it was like really, it was just love and walks and making dinners together. It was really, really
let
nice.
me get off my high horse about the television set because like what you just said nailed it. There was zero trepidation for me. It was pure love and excitement. Everything we did together, every single thing was so much fun for me. I felt like I just met my best friend and my soulmate all in one. And
we call it the summer of love. We'll refer to it as like just the summer of love.
But this point, we're into the fall. It's October.
And it was a long summer.
We're establishing a routine together, a real routine in which two people are now cohabitating. And honestly, I just remember these moments of us stopping and looking at each other and being like, why is this so much fun? Like, shouldn't there be something wrong? Shouldn't something come up that's annoying? And truly, I want to say it was an extended period of time in which there really wasn't any of that.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. Now, we were lucky in that neither of us had very much going on in life.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So we really spent all of our time together and just had fun going on all kinds of dates and activities. And I think that is unusual because it's not like we had separate set of friends and separate sets of activities that we were like trying to merge. We were really
it was so unusual.
Yeah.
I think that for both of us to be at a stage in life where we weren't already established with friend groups and a career, and most people have a lot going on, and it just so happened that we were both at these transitional stages, and
Yeah.
I was really, as I've mentioned before, I was a year and a half sober, and I really got out of the city in which I think, had a lot of friendships and relationships that some may have labeled as toxic, and I needed to get away from there. So I was really starting fresh in so many ways.
Yeah, it would have been harder if you were going through this huge transition, brand new country, and I wasn't. I already had everything established. I had my friend group, it's in my work and everything. But because we were both transitioning, we were able to transition together, and that was
Yes.
a really beautiful time.
It was a beautiful time.
Now,
I have a question. I would like to know specifically what it was like for you to sort of have to adapt to not only a life living with your new boyfriend, but a boyfriend with a disability.
it was a challenge, but I like challenges. So I took it on as like, how can I figure this out? How can I learn? What can I do to assist? I mean, it was a steep learning curve in those first few months. Always getting it wrong.
No.
I mean, for me, my assumptions
No.
inside, I'd be
Okay.
like, oh, wait, I think he can see that. Oh, no, he couldn't. Oh, I think he can't see
Interesting.
that. Oh, he can. So constantly adjusting and trying to learn and fine tune my sense of what you can and can't see, and in what conditions, and why could you then and why couldn't you there, and why could you then and why couldn't you then.
And I think in some
And
ways you still have to do that
I
today.
still
Yeah.
am sometimes like, oh, I wasn't
I
expecting that.
expected that to be harder for you. I didn't expect this to be
I
so hard.
expected you to see it, or I
Yeah.
expected you not to see it, and you like confound me.
And because my disease, my eye disease, retinitis pigmentosa, is so based on light and my photoreceptor cells and light conditions, like it can change dramatically from room to room, from day to day, and that can be quite unpredictable for me even. So I just want to put out there how heartwarming it was, how jarring it was to have somebody in my life who thought about these things in such a detailed way, because I'd never really encountered somebody who wanted to understand it so much like you have. And I remember those early days, you telling me, Paul, you need more contrast, and me being like, huh? And then being like, well, of course, that makes so much sense, and I never thought about that. And I remember when we were getting a gym together, and you were looking for the gym that had high contrast, because you didn't want me to bump into machinery and hurt myself, because we were working out together every day too, or at least 3 or 4 days
Yeah.
a week. We ended up going to this really crummy gym. It was like dirty and old, but they had like white machines and black carpets.
Yeah.
So you're like, these are gonna stand out.
Not the cool modern gym I would have picked out that had like
All
gray
gray.
on gray on gray, like sleek.
And that happened to be the place where the cute guys also went. And
We won't even talk about
we
that.
won't even talk about that. Because we were hanging out with the white-haired people, and
yeah.
I could see them better.
Yeah,
The white
you
hair against the black walls.
Okay,
Ah.
so we were having a great time, our summer of love, our long honeymoon, summer, fall.
Fall
What
and winter.
What did our families think?
What did our
When
families
they
think of this?
suddenly learned that
Yeah.
their sons were living
Not
together?
only that, but their little Polly, their little blind Polly, had now left Canada
and would not be coming back.
and wouldn't be coming back, and was moving in with his boyfriend. So, yeah, I think that is a burning question, and today I want to answer that question on the extended episode.
How dare you?
Why do you always make
You-
me into the bad guy? We agreed upon this before we started. I'm the bad guy. I'm the reason this is going to be on the
Good
extended
cop,
episode.
bad cop. First, we want to thank you for watching. If you can't watch our extended episodes, we understand. We still appreciate you being a part of our channel here. And
Yes.
like, subscribe, comment, share these videos with people you think would love them as well. Okay, when I told my dad, I think he was concerned. If you want to hear the extended episode and find out about what our family's thoughts were about their sons moving in together after only 3 to 4 months, you can go to patreon.com/Matthew and Paul, where you can binge all of our extended videos. And there's like 160 podcast episodes plus bonus episodes. There's too much there. If you want to listen to our extended episode, you can go right here. It'll take you right to Patreon. If you're on YouTube, it's this video right here. Tap right there.